As the evening progresses, this is why I'm doing today's episode. Benjamin reveals he believes, quote unquote, dinosaurs were a Smithsonian lie. When he discounts the idea that Bigfoot isn't real, someone from behind me shouts, "Dog men are real." Okay, they did that to slam me. So today we're going to show that dinosaurs are a Smithsonian lie. Okay, let's talk about dinosaurs. There's no such thing as fossil fuel. People always say, why would they lie? Why would they lie? Well, let's start off with, they said that oil comes from dinosaur bones. And a lot of people don't believe me that that's what people used to say. It's the reason it's called fossil fuel is that 66, notice the numbers. I'm not a numerologist. I don't believe in the number stuff, but they do. 66 million years ago, the dinosaurs were wiped out. And Saurus means lizard. George Soros, Soros, lizard. Not a coincidence, guys. So, all of their decaying, rotting flesh and bones became oil. Do you guys know how many intact dinosaur bones have ever been found? Class? None. Do you know how many dinosaur skulls have ever been found? Class? None. They've all been speculated based on a tooth. We'll get into the bones very soon, but this is a fact that there are exactly 0 total intact dinosaur bones. BigBear, they might be missing one. There's 0 skulls. Petrification and fossils don't even make sense. Yeah, there are fossils, but well, you know, we know how old that layer of sediment is because of the fossils that were in it, and we know how old the fossils that were in it because of the layer of sediment. That's called circular reasoning, and if you have a basic non-graveled education, you can spot it like that. They know how. Oh, this layer of rock is 1 million years old. So that means that these fossils are 1 million years old. How do you know that layer of rock is 1 million years old? Because the fossils in it are 1 million years old. I thought you said that's how you know how old the fossils are. It's a beautiful circle of nonsense. Dinosaurs went extinct because they all got AIDS. Right. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys so that when people call you stupid, you can just go, I'm not just going to say this based on speculation. I'll show you exactly how unbelievably stupid it is. And for people that now will not believe that everyone said oil came from dinosaurs, one of the reasons they made this hoax is to create a narrative that we were going to run out of oil. Why would anyone do that? So that they can raise the price of oil. It's called false scarcity. If you understand how markets work, it's supply and demand. There is an amount of demand, which can be manufactured by media and marketing manipulation. And then there's supply. So you have 10 hamburgers and there's a lot of demand for hamburgers. And then it goes to 1, the price of the hamburgers goes up. If there's 100 hamburgers and the same demand is there, the price goes down. If there's 100 hamburgers and you say there's only 1 hamburger and it's impossible to make more hamburgers because there's only hamburgers because a bunch of lizards died 66 million years ago, the price skyrockets permanently. Voila. And here is an old commercial. They used to put dinosaurs right on the oil commercials. For those of you that go, how dare you? Here we go. This is Sinclair.
From Symphony Hall, a very special performance under the baton of the distinguished guest conductor, Dino.
There's a nickel in it too. Nick Fuentes. Yeah. Nickel, 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 nickel. Nickel, nickel, nickel. Okay, so understand that
the only gasolines with nickel compound.
The only gasoline with nickel compound.
Engine wear as much as 29% or more miles per dollar.
Lies.
It's sparkling performance in your car.
Lie.
At the sign of the Sinclair Dinosaur.
I took that off too quickly. Just look at this. All right, so it's the only one to have that magic nickel. Guys, this is not new. These people just lie all the time for money and power. Watch.
Liquid nickel cuts engine wear as much as 29% or more miles per dollar. Get sparkling performance in your car at the sign of the Sinclair Dinosaur.
How dare you? I love the how dare the guy question. How dare you? So we all know now that putting nickel in your gas doesn't help at all. But, you know, look for that magic dinosaur. They had to erase it because it's so stupid. Because not only is there not a shortage or a limit of gasoline or oil, we just keep getting more. You know, they'll pump out an oil field and then 20 years and dry, and then 20 years later it's full again. It's not from dinosaurs, guys. And it's so obvious that they had to erase that entire narrative. All right, so most dinosaurs, if you just Google this is like what Google considers fact. It's they put it in the info as soon as you Google something. Most dinosaur bones discovered are highly radioactive. Because of this, the bones displayed in museums are covered with heavily leaded paint. Mainstream scientists explain this phenomenon by citing elemental uranium deposits in Colorado and Wyoming. These deposits were formed during the Jurassic Age. Okay, so let that sink in. So these bones are in the ground all the time. They're just always there. And they're not even bones, they're fossils. They're just imprints of where bones were. I'm just going with what they're saying. It's all nonsense. Try and understand 1,000,000 years. Understand 1,000 years. You know, America's only been here for, you know, a few hundred years. Now go 1,000 years. You know, have you ever seen a book from imagine like the Magna Carta, you know, 1,000-year-old document. Ooh. Now picture 2,000. You're going back to the age of Jesus Christ. That's so long ago. You get the Shroud of Turin or something, and it's like, whoa. Now go back. Now double that, and double that, and double that, and double. But now go back 10,000 years, 50,000 years, 100,000. That's 50 lengths to Jesus Christ. Now, 10 of those 100,000s, that's just 1 million. And they say all the dinosaurs have been gone for 66 million. How would they know a fucking thing? They don't know a thing about what's happening right now in Syria. And it's all lies. Look at how the media will cover something from a week ago, let alone 100 million years ago, based on an imprint in stone. Okay, I'm trying not to be condescending because it's so obvious to someone like me, but I'm trying to walk people through this, that they say that the bones are radioactive. And you can actually, according to that, check this out. Okay, so the deadly truth about paleontology. Paleontology may seem like a tame, safe science where only the studied objects are dead, but beware. Certain aspects of paleontology are just as dangerous as letting an inquisitive tortoise near your testicles or getting your finger between a frog and... Okay, they're saying that being a paleontologist can give you cancer because it's radioactive, which is why they have to cover the bones with paint. And it's why in museums, 100% of bones are fake. You've never seen a dinosaur bone. In fact, they're not available to the public because they're radioactive. Okay? 66 million years ago, they claim a meteor hit the earth and was so violent that it created radioactive, in just the bones, not the dirt around the bones. That's fine. You can live in Colorado. You can live in Wyoming. Live in Vernal, Utah. No problem. But the bones you see, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm literally trying to tell you what their argument is. But the bones, which aren't bones, the bones have been gone for millions of years. It's the imprint of the bones that have been fossilized, which is just stone. There's no flesh or DNA in any of it, obviously. It's just, okay, bury an egg in your backyard and check it out in a month. Now apply that to 100 million years. I hate doing this, guys. It's so exhausting for someone like me, but this is going to help a lot of people see through it. Okay, they say that the dinosaur bones are radioactive and they will give you cancer. So that's why they're made, you can't make this up, they're made out of ground up chicken bones from China, and then they put lead enamel over it so you don't get cancer. And you're never allowed to see any of the bones, and no complete skeletons exist, and there are no dinosaur skulls. Guys, I used to like dinosaurs so much that I currently have stuffed animal dinosaurs from what my mom made me as a child, and my son still plays with them. What do? I say the pterodactyl is a hawk. And I say, look, it's just like a hawk. I just have made the transition. And the other one's a funny monster, a lizard. Because there are Komodo dragon, stuff like that. Like, giant, scary lizards do exist, but the dinosaur story is beyond nonsense. So then what happens? Here, this is according to Smithsonian.com. The anatomy of dinosaur sex. Despite the rarity of direct evidence, paleontologists know quite a bit about dinosaur gonads. Here's a pair of Tyrannosaurs, T-Rexes restored in the act at Spain's Jurassic Museum. Okay, so they're miming fucking in a museum that children go to. Why? Why wouldn't you if you were these guys, these perverts? They invent a whole story that's nonsense. Those bones right there, those aren't real bones. Those are chicken bones ground up and put together based on nonsense. Who first coined the term dinosaur? It was Sir Richard Owen of the Royal Society in the 1840s. Based on what, you ask? Nothing. They had not discovered any bones. They created it. Who did he do it with? Aldous Huxley's grandfather. Who is Aldous Huxley, you might ask? Aldous Huxley wrote A Brave New World. He's a science fiction writer, and he comes from a bloodline that goes back in England that's very close to royalty, and it's about energy and power cartels. So they come up with the thing called dinosaurs. By the way, this is mainstream history. Mainstream history, guys. So when these newspapers want to shame me and say, oh, Owen thinks that dinosaurs is a Smithsonian lie. It is. Sir Richard Owen, named with Aldous Huxley's grandfather, came up with dinosaurs with no bones in the 1840s. That's it. That's when it all started. How many bones have they discovered since then? 0 complete skeletons and 0 skulls. How many partial skeletons of T-Rex do they even claim? 12. Okay, total. It's all numerology, guys. This is all a spell, and that's why they have to stick to numerology so much. Okay, so what do we have here? Where is it? So what caused the extinction of the dinosaurs? Look at the numerology, guys. And I don't believe it's from God. I think it's from man, but look at it. The extinction was caused by the impact of a massive comet or asteroid, 6 to 9 miles wide, 66 million years ago, which devastated the global environment mainly through, they claim that chickens are now dinosaurs, that they evolved to chickens, but yet they claim they were sent extinct an incalculable amount of time ago that happens to line up exactly with Talmudic and Kabbalah numerology spells. Right? Do you not see that? They are chickens. They're chicken bones. They're making bones out of chickens. I'll just make claims. Just go look it up. There are 0 complete dinosaur skeletons. They say you can't examine the real bones because they're radioactive. That's why they have to put lead paint on it. That's an obvious lie that your common sense will tell you. Every site that they find dinosaur bones is somehow completely controlled by the Smithsonian or the Carnegie Foundation or the Rockefellers. Okay? If you talk to any engineers, they will show you that the dinosaur legs would buckle under those proportions and their insides would fall out based on their on the engineering of their rib cage. It's not functional. It's out of the... Okay, so how do we know the most about dinosaurs? It's Steven Spielberg's movie Jurassic Park. Now, can we go... Let's look through Steven Spielberg's movies. So we have The Color Purple, which references royalty. I'm not going to get into that one. Back to the Future in Codes 911, and it's about a crazy old pervert with no kids who's really, really close with a high school kid, and they need plutonium to travel through time and tinker with things. Okay, then you have Catch Me If You Can, a direct... It's in 2002, a year after 9/11, he comes out with a movie called Catch Me If You Can, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Then you have AI, Artificial Intelligence, 2001. These are... Just look at his movies. War of the Worlds, which is based on a confirmed hoax from the 1930s. Raiders of the Lost Ark, in which the main character, Indiana Jones, openly had a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old. Close Encounters. Was that the one where the main star... Or no, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The husband and father of children in it abandons his family for space exploration. Saving Private Ryan, more Nazi porn. Jurassic Park, fear porn around dinosaurs. Jaws, more fear porn. Schindler's List. We know what that's all about. And of course, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which encodes just a tremendous amount of pedophilia. Steven Spielberg he cast Heather O'Rourke, a little girl who died on the set of making a movie with Steven Spielberg. She was the girl from Poltergeist. They're here. She died from septic shock from anal trauma. Okay, now that you know all that, let's take a quick look at a scene from a Steven Spielberg movie about dinosaurs. And before you, how dare you, just now that you know that, by the way, he is not only an alleged pedophile, but alleged to a degree where people think that he has to like kill. I'm not making any claims, but Heather O'Rourke, and the ET symbolism of God and man, and the fact that I've done whole episodes on it. Just go look at it, but just watch this.
Come on, girl. Come on, up here, girl. Come on.
It's about getting close to a mom.
God bless you.
I mean, come on.
Up here. God bless you.
Okay, we know what that is. Oh, how dare you? You're looking too into it. You know, in museums, according to Smithsonian, they have to make them look like they're fucking in front of the kids because you have to show little kids that. The Anatomy of Dinosaurs, and the Smithsonian is run by the Vice President of the United States. It isn't a separate secular science. It's political, you dumb shit. The Smithsonian is run by the Vice President of the United States. That's what it is. It's always been that. Despite the rarity of direct evidence. Oh, you mean that there's zero direct evidence? Paleontologists know quite a bit about dinosaur gonads. I bet they do. They're a bunch of lying perverts. It's like, despite the lack of evidence for any of this, these paleontologists sure know how they fuck. And so what they're going to do is they're going to put it on display in front of all your kids at a national museum. And people call me stupid for saying God has a plan. It's unreal. No real bones, no real photos, guys. And then I'm going to show you something very interesting. So 66 million years ago, and then of course it plays completely into the fear porn that at any time, doesn't matter how big and strong you get, an asteroid can come anytime and wipe you out. Now give us money. Oh, what about all this oil? Oh, oil only comes from dinosaur bones, and they've been wiped out for 66 million years. So it's really rare. And so give us money. Give us like a preposterous amount of money. And then the Rockefellers, Carnegies, and Smithsonian will spend the next, and the Royal Society, started by Sir Richard Owen and the grandfather of Aldous Huxley, are going to start the whole idea of a dinosaur without any bones, and we're going to push it on everybody that only began in the 1840s. Now give us money. It's like, and every time people find bones, they're not allowed to, unless they're based on funding from the Carnegies and the Rockefellers, and give us the money. And if you find a bone, don't touch it or look at it and run away because it will give you cancer. Not the food or the water or the chemtrails in the sky. No, none of those things give you cancer. None of those things give you cancer. It's 66 million year old. I know I sound sarcastic, which I don't like. Guys, this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. They use dinosaurs to brainwash into thinking we came from grills. Yeah, it's so massive that people just shut down. When you say 66 million years, people can understand 1,000 years. It's a mind-blowing amount of time. Okay, farmers don't get as tricked, because when you say, oh, we discovered dinosaur eggs from 66 million years ago, you're like, an egg doesn't last a week underground. And then it becomes a stone. Like every day we see that this isn't real every day. If you are in the natural world, you know, one of my chickens got taken out by a hawk the other day, and I burn their bodies because I don't want to attract coyotes. But like, if I just left her on the ground, oh well, they have to fall into tar, and then they become stones. And if they fell into hot tar, it would burn. It's like, so a dinosaur falls into tar, and then it's the perfect temperature where it just takes away the skin, and then it preserves them, and then it becomes stone, but it's still intact. And it's like, okay, so I'm the stupid one? No, I mean, okay, let's watch the trailer for the first Jurassic Park, and I want to show you something. They always show their hand with the little changes in the wizardry. And Steven Spielberg is a very high-level wizard. All right, let's watch this. You're never going to take me down. All right, this is the original Jurassic Park. Let's play a game called Spot the Spell. Fuentes was... Oh, yeah. Yeah, recently... Just wait. So it starts off with a lie. It's a spinning ball called Universal.
Since the beginning of time, man has searched the earth for evidence of its...
When you understand what they're doing, this is a comedy. It's sick. It's a dark comedy, but it's like, yeah, we want to know our past. And so they're searching for the past. So what is it? It's nonsense. That you see that skull that they're uncovering? That's never been found. That right there is a lie. There's never been a paleontologist or anyone in history who's uncovered exactly what you're looking at right there. The entire dinosaur drawing and speculation came from one tooth. One tooth. That could have been anything. So they're capitalizing on our lack of cultural memory. Where do we come from? Who are we? What is this? And so they come in, Spielberg comes in, after just freshly probably raping a child, and he says, oh, I know where we've been. And it's nonsense. It's a lie. It's crazier than Santa Claus, because theoretically you could get a sleigh. You know, if you figure out how to do like levitation stuff, which is possible because with electromagnetism and stuff, you could get reindeer that fly. Like, it's possible. This isn't even possible.
But while some have looked for clues to the mystery, one man has found the way to bring the mystery.
You see the guy's just an old pervert.
Back to life.
I own an island off the coast of Costa Rica, and I've spent the last 5 years setting up a kind of...
Look at him, he's holding a wizard staff. And this is all symbolism, guys.
A kind of biological preserve.
Here, on this private island, science has defied evolution.
Where do you get 100-million-year-old dinosaur?
Okay, so science has defied evolution. Evolution isn't even real. They're saying science has defied God. They're doing a lie on top of a lie in a movie that's based on a visual lie.
Genetics has mastered creation.
We've made living biological attractions so astounding.
Hang on. Genetics has mastered creation. Okay, back then when this first came out, I remember reading this. It was by Michael Crichton. And people were saying that this was actually possible, that they could get the DNA from amber, from a mosquito. You know, it's all just stories, guys. It's all from the minds of just creative fiction writers. And so none of it's real. Just listen.
That they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet.
And extinction.
Capture the imagination of the entire planet. There isn't even a planet, and that's what it is. It's called an alchemical spell.
Is a thing of the past.
Welcome to Jurassic.
Oh, by the way, you always, in these movies, you also have the cool, suave guys, always a Jew. And then Newman is how they represent the Gentile, the fat man. You know, in Seinfeld, Newman was the only one with a job. You know that, right? He was the only one with a real job. You know, George was a scam artist. Cosmo Kramer, it's obvious that he was on some sort of government disability for schizophrenia. Jerry Seinfeld was just like a club nonsense joke teller and just a sex addict. And Elaine was just always working for men that wanted to have sex with her. And then Newman was the only one with a job, and they just humiliated Newman. And then in this, Spielberg, the same character, the same guy who plays Newman is he's the one who's trying to steal, and it's just like Newman. It's the symbolism is off the charts.
What do we got here, King Kong? None of these attractions are ready yet, of course, but the park will open with the basic tour you're about to take.
Hey, look at this. You see something?
Dinosaurs and man. Two species separated by...
Someone said we watched Jurassic Park in biology class. Yeah. Don't send your kids to public school. It's nuts. That this is real science, guys. Just listen to this line here. This is from the mind of a pedophile, bear in mind.
Man. Two species separated by 65 million years.
You hear that? 65 million. Do you want to know why they said 5 and not 6? Because it codes to 11, which is the start of his spell. According to Aleister Crowley. And now, I don't get into that stuff because I hate it. I even hate thinking about it because it's so nonsensical and based. It's Pharisees. I was reading my son the children's Bible, and I forgot how much the Pharisees are exactly like YouTube. It was just about, Jesus would do a miracle on Saturday, and the Pharisees would get really mad. They're like, you're not allowed to do that on Saturday. It's like, why? They're like, the terms and conditions. It's the same people. It's the same exact thing as before. It's just, and when you look at magic with a K, like all this stuff, spells, spellcraft, it's all based on retarded laws that are not set in nature or not made by God. It's just nothing. I like Newman. Newman was my favorite. Newman. You might as well be saying Gentile. Newman's contract was bad. He got grabbled in the script. Yeah, my honors history class went during school time to see Schindler's List, and then we all had some weird guilt after. It's just programming. If you look at, in 2002, Spielberg releases a movie called Catch Me If You Can, right after 9/11. And then it's, Schindler's List, E.T., which encodes tons of pedophilia. A monster and a boy. He gets a little boy drunk, and then the boy kisses a girl. There's no father figure. They go by the moon. He basically kidnaps a child with a flying bike. I know this sounds comedic the way I'm saying it, but it's really bad. Gematria is gay. It is, but you have to understand that the Hebrew alphabet is encoded with letters and numbers. It's not this is the difference. It's like, it's not what I believe, but it's what they believe. So you have to see it. When they say 65 million, when it's 66 million, 66 is they're obsessed with sixes, but 65 means the start of a spell. That's why blackjack is 11, hit, double down, hit. It's all mind control shit. Just watch the rest of this.
Suddenly, thrown back into the mix together.
Can I touch it?
How can we possibly have the slightest idea
You feel that?
what to expect?
Since it's failing all over the park. Phones are out too. Universal Pictures presents. I can't get Jurassic Park back online. Adventure 65 million years in the making. Just a delay. Always, all major theme parks had delays. When they opened Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked. Return for
Bear in mind, this isn't this kid's dad. Watch this.
all major theme parks had delays. When they opened
If you know the people involved in these shots are all very calculated, guys.
all major theme parks had delays.
So
When they opened
gross.
Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked. Return for Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down. The pirates don't eat the tourists. You sure we're safe?
Yes. Must have figured out how to open doors.
Jurassic Park.
Unreal. Yeah, I'm the stupid one for thinking that's fake. Yeah, okay. And they're playing on just the very, very, very basic primal fear of someone opening your door at night when you're a little kid. God. The chest is opened at the end. Yeah, the chest is open at the end. Watch your six because you know they are. Right. All right. Took my child 2 years to open doors. I only believe what I can personally experience and verify is true. BB, what about dinosaur footprints? Do you want to be banned? But what about just get the fuck out of here? I'm sorry. It's just like, it's getting to the point where, but what about, it's like when you'll show the moon landing being a fraud, every aspect of it, none of it is physically possible in any aspect. Whether or not it's the amount of electricity needed to do a live television broadcast, whether or not it's distances, whether or not it's jet propulsion in a vacuum, whether or not it's our atmosphere being next to a vacuum, whether or not it's the fact they never went back. They deleted all the evidence and they said it's too painful to rebuild. And it's the lunar lander looks like a meth head's tree fort. And it just, and then someone will be like, yeah, but what about the reflectors on the moon? Do you know what that even is? Do you know the proof of the reflector? They have a box and they say it's a laser and they send out the laser and then it makes a noise and lights up and says, oh, the laser has been bounced back. You can't make this up. You can't visually see the reflectors on the moon. And want to know what they did with that reflector box thing? They got rid of it because too many people were asking questions about how they knew it was being reflected. Want to know what the reflector box was? It was just a box that made a noise and had a light up. It's right out of the mind of Skinner or Pavlov or any of these how to control animal people. You just give them a box and a thought. Well, if we shoot the laser up and then the fact that the laser comes back down based on the reflectors means that there's reflectors and it means we've been there. The proof was a box lit up and made a sound. And everyone went, proof. Okay, the dinosaur footprints. Would you like to know how? I'm not going to even just stop. 66 million years ago? You can't prove something that happened a month ago. And look at the mainstream news. Look at how things are being recorded. Look at how hard it is to understand what happened in our Civil War. Imagine what it would be like if a person in the Civil War was shot in a field and then you dug them up 150 years ago. There wouldn't even be bones. Okay, now add that exponentially to 100 million. It's like, well, this, and not only do they think they don't have bones. They've admitted they don't have bones. They take the fake bones and they make it look like they're fucking. And they say, according to the Smithsonian, despite the rarity of evidence, paleontologists know quite a bit about dinosaur gonads. And then people just say stuff to me like, what about the footprints, though? It's just like, would you like me to start again? I've supposed dinosaur footprints in Utah could be. Would you like to see me fake a footprint with a fucking toilet paper roll and a stick? But what about? I mean, but they said in the Spielberg, and then I went to the movie, and I was scared, and then I watched a porno, and I ate all the fluoride, and I just. Would you guys like to see me make a footprint in 5 minutes with a stick? No, but I mean, we found it, and then and they said it was radioactive, and then they made it with lead. These are the people shaming me that are saying, "Oh, and Benjamin, I mean, he actually said that the dinosaurs were a Smithsonian lie. We can all blatantly see them fucking." And then they call me profane. Or that I'm using profanity. You're the ones paying taxes to it. I pay taxes, I get it. But to a government that takes fake chicken bones out of China from the mind of Aldous Huxley's grandfather and then makes it look like they're banging each other. And the only reason you believe it is because of Spielberg movies, an alleged pedophile who's also made movies about extraterrestrials, War of the Worlds, Schindler's List, Catch Me If You Can, AI, Jaws. Do you think that there's a lot of sharks attacking people at public beaches? It's exhausting sometimes to be like, when people are like, well, my aunt's a paleontologist and she spent $250,000 to learn how to brush off rock that can give her cancer. And I'm like, then your aunt's a retard, and I don't want to have this conversation anymore. I was at the Smithsonian, Big Bear. I seen the Triceratops peckers. How dare you? How dare the evidence of dinosaurs is zero. There's zero skeletons, zero skulls. They're all fake. The public has never once been able to hold a dinosaur bone in their hand because the claim is they're radioactive, which is why they have to cover them in lead paint. And they were invented by a knight of the Royal Society named Sir Richard Owen in the 1840s. And then since then, every major discovery was funded by Carnegie, Rockefeller, or the Royal Crown. And the lie from that is that oil is made from fossil fuels, the fossils of dinosaurs. That's why there's a limit to it, and that's why it costs so much money. And you have to send your kids to die fighting for something that clearly isn't what they say it is for money and power and control. And you think I'm the crazy one, even though your aunt has 15 cats. Dragon Weenus. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you not know? How dare you not know the dinosaur's anus? You know, scientists have finally uncovered, according to Steven Spielberg, which literally means wizardberg. A spiel, a lie. A spiel. What's your spiel? You know what spiel means? You know what berg means? Spielberg. And they hide in plain sight like that because they want you to deserve it. Because it makes it more fun for them. I sucked off so many dinosaurs at Woodstock, you wouldn't even believe it. I was smoking doobies and getting sucked and just fucking dinosaurs. Hang on, look at this. Paleontologists have revealed that what a dinosaur really likes is when another dinosaur takes him from behind, and then their buddy walks in front and high fives the other dinosaur, and then he's like nibbling on, and his arms are really small, but he wants to get out there and start jerking and sucking. Guys, I'm making a mockery of this. This is what they're doing. Despite the rarity of evidence, paleontologists know quite a bit about dinosaur gonads. You know, the black dinos usually were hung like a fucking racehorse, but, you know, they weren't very, you know, you couldn't count on them. They kept going into dinosaur jail, but, you know, you'd write them letters, and they liked it from behind. And I'm the crazy one. Okay. Everyone's thought about dinosaurs mating, but no one has. No one thinks that way unless they're a disgusting, small-headed pervert.